Good morning. It's Morning Oasis. It's the 11th of January. It was easy to remember because it's 111. It is snowing outside. I'm going to show you guys just a little bit. Check. Isn't that amazing? It's snowing. So beautiful. I love the snow. I love it when it's actual snow and it's not like that icy snow or that ice and crap and just awfulness that sometimes you see when you're in the Pacific Northwest in the valleys because the snow is usually up in the mountains and up in the peaks and you've got to go there to see it. So it's really nice to have it down here. Today is a full moon day. Actually, tomorrow is when the full moon is said to be happening. It's at 3:33 a.m. is when the full moon will actually occur. So it's tomorrow in the wee hours of the morning or tonight. So tonight you can also start doing your full moon rituals. It's just as powerful. Good morning, Andrea. How are you today? Is it snowing over there? Because it's coming down here. And good morning, Alex. Hey, how are you feeling today? Is the chest area feeling any better? Morning, Debbie. Good morning. So good to see you. Yeah, so I don't have any card pulls for this morning. So unless I get some requests kind of early on, I'm going to go ahead and move into kind of the talk and the meditation. It's raining down there in Southern California. That's awesome. That's awesome. By the way, we're going to be in San Diego, I think in February. I don't know the dates right now. I love it when it's raining down in Southern California. Almost every time I've gone down, except for once, it's rained down there. All of your snow is already melted, Andrea. You know, it was funny. Ours had finally, all the ice and snow and crust had melted yesterday morning. There was just like little bits left in the cracks. And now, yeah, it is snowy outside. It's still coming down. It started coming down last night. You're at work. Good, you slept. Okay, good. That's what was necessary. So yesterday, Alex needed to, she let us all know that she was really struggling with some stuff internally. And it was a lot of, past life, this life, just a lot of lessons and a lot of karma, and some belief work. So, it was perfect setup for what we're going to be doing today, Alex. And I'm glad you got enough sleep before we get into it. Yeah, it is, Andrea, the moon energy, I started feeling it last night. I think that's part of that and the snow. I couldn't get to sleep last night for quite a long time. I was up until probably around 3. I went upstairs at, I think around 1 and started meditating, but it was a good few hours of meditation work and things like that, energy work, and just preparation for this morning, preparation for this moon, preparation for my own personal growth and transformation work. Yeah, it's definitely in the air. So this moon, is in Cancer. It's the full moon in Cancer, which is bringing in that divine mother, that feminine energy, divine feminine energy. So I thought today what we could work on is our wounds around that divine feminine energy. Most of the people that are drawn to my work or have find themselves here are the kind of people who have had hardships and struggles. I think I can't think of a single client I've ever worked with that didn't have some sort of struggle with their mother. And love their mothers deeply, love and respect and honor their mothers, but have personal, interpersonal, and interrelational struggles, and ultimately have wounds that they struggle to heal from as a result of those interpersonal relationships, whether it's because the mother was present and abusive directly, or was absent, allowing for abuse, whatever it may be. So I thought we could kind of work on that stuff today. This week seems to be the theme of removing our victimhood, really getting into the nitty-gritty of that. That's what this lunar energy is all about. That's what this beginning of this year period is all about. So everything's in alignment for that. I wanted for you guys, as we begin talking about all of this stuff and open this conversation today, and again, if somebody would like a card pull, please feel free to request it, and we can jump in and do that in the next 10 minutes or so if somebody requests. But while we're grounding and connecting today, I want you guys to call in bear energy, bear medicine, the bear, your bear, whether it's your mother bear or great mother bear, or if you have a personal bear connection of some sort. This is the day of bringing that bear energy in. And the bear energy, we all have our own relationship with these kinds of spirit animals and spirit energy. Card pull? Sure, that sounds great. Oh, good morning, Laura. So while we're doing today, doing our show today, doing this connection together, spending this time together, let's bring Bear in strongly so that she can support us while we do this work today. Let's see. So, Andrea, card pull. Alex, card pull, I mean. Let's see which deck wants to talk to you. The Earth Magic deck, which is no surprise. They're already showing me a card in my mind. That's awesome. Yeah, one of, it's funny. Not funny, haha, but funny, beautiful. Eating blueberries, yeah, mother bear. My son, his friends, he has 3 of his friends, these young men that are between 11 and 14, who listen to my work. They watch my videos, you guys. I have teenage boys listening to my work. They follow everything I put up on YouTube. They get frustrated with me when I'm not posting regularly. Well, one of those boys who is, you know how we have those kids that didn't come from our womb? Well, he's one of those for me. He's one of my boys, and I love him dearly. And he is a bear. Like, he loves bears. He collects teddy bears. He wears a bear costume for his pajamas. I proudly got to replace the zipper once for him in his bear costume. So this day is for you, buddy. This is your day. It's Bear Day. And the next 3 days are Bear Day. So you just hold that bear medicine for all the young men out there for me, because I'm so grateful for you. All right, so let's see, Alex. Yeah, so this was the card they showed me in my mind. I'm not at all surprised it's what we ended up getting. This is fairies and earth magic. Earth magic. So right now is the time. Like, we are, one aspect of the ascension that I don't hear a lot of people talking about is, like, we're not the cheese that's standing alone in the middle of everything. We're actually, one integral piece of this collective consciousness of the planet Earth, of Gaia's collective consciousness. Just like we have these, like, all this stuff crawling around on our skin, little, microbes and bacteria that clean off the surface and grow little colonies, and sometimes those little colonies become infections and sometimes they don't, right? We are the microbes on the giant being. We're a piece of that collective consciousness, and as we as humans are ascending, it's so important for us to stay grounded into this creation, into this planet, because we're bringing that planetary consciousness with us. that's a part of it. Now it's going to happen whether we're doing it with intention or not, right? I mean, that's what's happening. The planet is ascending, okay? So we're just along for the ride. But the more we hold on and get down into that body as it's moving, the better we have a standing, a footing in this new vibrational frequency and a support with it. We need to become one with that. And I think that's part of this earth magic. Remember your earth magic stuff. And I know, Alex, you were just talking about completing some very powerful work for you, and truly embracing your earth magic self and power. So I think this is also confirmation for you on that. But remember, you don't need to wait to complete it in order to embody that. Right? The journey is the embodiment, not the goal at the end. It's not like we get to a place where we ascend. We are in a state of ascension, and at points we embody it as we go. And the more we embody it, the easier it becomes. Yes, the more it gets rattled loose, the more we have to deal with as a result of this ascension process. It accelerates the problems too, right? Like, it accelerates the opportunities for growth and development. So just recognize that your earthly fairies, your earthly guides, elemental spirits, elemental energies are all here supporting you right now. They're all here, a part of what you're doing, how you're growing and developing. Excuse me. So just really tap into that is what I'm hearing there. So when we are using a spirit energy, like an animal energy, now a lot of you guys here are quite familiar with this. Feel free to contribute any advice that you have through comments, or also feel free to open any conversations or discussions in the group. That's what it's for. I would love to hear your advice or your contributions to that conversation. But bear energy, as I said earlier, is considered to be that great grandmother, that mother energy. That's why we have that mother bear term. You saw this last night, having to work with earth magic and do plenty of earth healing and helping others. Yes, perfect, Alex. I felt like some of those rods were re-engaging you back into what you came here to be. There's a bit of a stepping back that had occurred. But that's okay. That was perfect. You needed it. It was all perfectly tuned and perfectly aligned to get you to here, right? To get you grounded, to get you safe, to get you a place, a platform to work from with confidence and security. Yeah, so that's awesome. Perfect. What I love about this audience, this group of people. Well, first of all, you guys are so amazing. I rarely need to provide much one-on-one support with any of you, ultimately. And when it is, it's big stuff. It's stuff like I'm kind of going like, whoa, that's huge. So it obviously would need support. You guys are committed clearly to self-work. And I just want to give a shout out to how much I respect that, how much I appreciate that. And how I want you to know that I see that you're here because that's what you do. You are committed to your own personal growth and development. I'm just a vehicle that's delivering some information to you guys. You guys are doing the work on a daily basis. And I'm just honored to walk with you all. And someday I have a vision and hope that we will all come together and have a beautiful time together. Maybe we'll have a great big sleepover in some giant room and never go to bed. It's beautiful. I want to show you that I see that and that how much I respect that and honor that in you guys. So we're calling in the bear medicine energy, and we're using this full moon energy that's coming through right now. And what is the full moon energy, right? When the full moon comes, it's a perfect reflector, reflecting that full light of the sun back at us at our darkest moment. Good morning, Teresa. So this is going to be a time of reflection, looking at the mirror. And I thought what we could do today is talk a little bit about how do I want to. Normally, I have cards that kind of jump us into that. Slumber party in my house. Yeah, see, look, I've got some room. So, one of the things that I've been working with people a lot on, when I do work with individuals, is what do we do with it when we find this trigger, this trauma? And a seagull just flew over my window again. Okay, now seriously, guys, I never see seagulls, like maybe at the park or something, but they're rarely ever over my house. That was part of Laura's reading for me, was that a lot of bird energy, and that's actually quite true. Wherever I go, I see a ton of birds. You know, whenever I'm driving, even in the city, I see peregrine falcons, I see hawks, I've seen eagles. I've had eagles swoop down right by my car on the freeway and take off from the median right next to my car. I thought I was going to hit it. I screamed. It scared me so badly. I've seen big giant cranes, amazing prehistoric looking birds. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, at the beach, those seagulls are a pain in the patootie. They poop on everything. They used to poop on me all the time at school. We'd be out at lunch and I'd get bird poop on my shoulder. So annoying. But yes, Laura, birds are huge in my life, and you know, I absolutely love and appreciate them. But what I found is they've been a symbol for me of what we would consider like a ET consciousness, right? The avian consciousness. So I also wanted us to, as we're kind of calling in these energies today, and we're going to do this work, I'm already getting the wee in my ear that comes in when I start to work with the avians. I thought, if you haven't worked with the avian consciousness yet, call in that avian consciousness. They're also called the blue avians, the blue birds. If you're drawn to Thoth from Egypt, yes, Laura, that's another confirmation. Thoth is a huge component of my work. I actually, when I was in training to be an energy worker, I was given an attunement. Given an attunement for the who was the first attunement? Honestly, I can't remember. It was because it wasn't relevant to me. It was relevant to my teacher, and it was that opening attunement. I think it was Haruti or one of those. I can't remember. Now I don't work with them at all. They're not a part of my my team. But as soon as I got that attunement from my teacher, I went into research to go and see, you know, what is this who is this Egyptian god? It was not one I wasn't familiar with. It wasn't one of the big named ones, so it was kind of a lesser known, less common, and it was actually quite difficult to find information on him. So I don't think it was actually Haruti. It was a different one. But anyway, it turned out that god that I got the attunement to is considered to be the protector of Thoth. And as soon as I read that, I went into the deepest of meditations, connecting fully with Thoth Consciousness, and so I began understanding who it was that was guiding my constant quest for knowledge, constant quest for information. I have always been driven to learn. I'm a lifetime scholar, you know. Which is hilarious because I don't hold any degrees, and I hold no weight in degrees either. And I meet people who are, you know, PhD philosophers, and I just met one the other day, and he weirded me out. He was the grossest priest I've ever met in my life. So, you know, I don't really hold to a university as the only means of education, and so I recognize that many of you out there are also lifetime scholars and feel like you can't say that because You don't have a certificate or a degree to show it. And I'm speaking to that you can. You can speak to this, and you can speak to that truth. Good morning, Brittany. Oh, so good morning. So Thoth came in immediately, and one of the funny things that happened as I connected more consciously to Thoth was I realized I become obsessive about things. If I'm learning something new or I'm experiencing something new, I get very focused and obsessive. If I do a jigsaw puzzle, for instance, I can easily do like 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle in about 3 to 4 hours, and I don't get up until it's done. Like, I get very obsessive. And I was doing a jigsaw puzzle with a friend. A friend came over and wanted to do one, and we were working on this puzzle, and I happened to just notice that the first piece I would pick up, I'd have to look for where it went. The second piece I'd pick up, I found immediately where it went. And then the next piece I picked up, I had to look for where it went. And then the next piece I picked up, I immediately found its spot. And this began to happen as a pattern, and I kind of tuned in, and I recognized that Thoth consciousness. I could feel it. And I was like, I do these little internal conversations, which I'm sure a lot of you have, that you think make you crazy. You're talking to voices. Well, you know what? I think I am talking to Thoth. So I had this little conversation, and I laughed, and I was like, is this why I do puzzles so quickly? First of all, are you doing half of it? And I heard this giggle. Well, I take my turn. I give you your turn. I take my turn. And I started to think about all the different games I've ever played. And as a kid, I obsessively played games. You know, when we get a new game, I would play it all the time, and nobody else wanted to play with me. So I'd play with myself, and it was really easy for me to completely forget what my other hand was. And I'd have my hand, and then there's the other hand, and it was almost like the other hand, I didn't really have to think too hard. It was just showed me what needed to be done. Again, started to try that when I was playing Mahjong by myself. And yeah, I found I was playing with not just Thoth, but a few others as well, which, I'll leave them anonymous for now. But I have game players that I love to play with. So we're going to call in that Thoth energy as well. Call in that playful exploration, that energy that enjoys looking and seeking, but also knows to allow us to see for ourselves, to learn for ourselves too. That's one of the things I really appreciate about Thoth. He's not trying to learn it for you. He's not giving it to you. He's with you in it, which is, I think, a really important thing to remember about a lot of these gods that have been worshipped and held in the hearts of people over centuries. There's a reason that they have been, because we keep that alive. That's a part of us too. So as we work today, we're going to be using bear energy. We're going to be using Thoth to help guide and support us. And bear energy also brings us courage, strong grounding, and strength, a fearlessness, and an empowerment, right? Those all come from bear as well. So we're almost to the point where it's a good time to start into the meditation. And since it's a big one, a flock of like 8 crows just flew by. Since it's a big one, we're going to go ahead and jump right in. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. Make sure you're comfortable and ready. You're going to probably hear my son coughing in the background because he's just got this terrible cough, so I'm going to probably do a little side work on that. It seems like it's coming back right now, poor thing. All right. So I want you to make sure that you're sitting comfortably. Adjust yourself if you need to. Feel yourself, your body, your connections. Know that we're going to be going deep. We're going to also be doing a little bit of time work. We're going to be going back in time a little bit today. So let your grounded roots also ground you in the here and the now, in this present moment. So we're going to breathe in this present moment. Letting those roots come down as we breathe that breath all the way down into the root and exhale. Releasing this morning, last night, just letting go. Breathing in this present moment all the way into the root and exhaling, letting go of what happens later today. Breathing in this present moment and exhaling, releasing all expectations of yourself in this moment, this time. Just keep breathing. Feel those roots grounding you, reaching down and reaching out, really anchoring you in this life, this expression. Your Gaia, your now. Letting that Gaia energy come up through the body. We're going to use that ocean kind of current energy that we used a long time ago. Remember that these tools that I'm teaching you are not just to be used once. These are to be used over and over whenever you feel called. These are tools in your box. So today we're going to be doing deep, deep work. So we want to call into focus that ocean tide cleansing energy of Gaia up through the body in that rhythmic pulse as the tide comes in, bringing it up through the legs, up through the root chakra and seat, up through the sacral, cleansing and scrubbing up through the solar plex. We're going to be working a lot in this area today, the solar plex, a lot of work on what disempowers us, okay? So just know that, hold that, allow that scrubbing energy to just release whatever's ready to go automatically. If you need to adjust your shoulders to help that release, do so, because I do. I carry a lot of responsibility, a lot of weight on my shoulders, right? And remember, the breath is how you're going to be exhaling these toxins, staying in tune with the breath as you breathe into the root and exhale through the crown, into the root. In a circular breath, exhale to the crown. Always keeping that breath moving through the body. Feeling that energy starting to rise up into that heart space, down the shoulders and the arms, all the way to the fingertips, until it's like you can feel that sea mist just bursting out from your palms and your fingers. Just imagine that salty mist coming out. Letting that energy rise up through the throat chakra, cleansing and releasing, up through the head, so much of us spend so much time up here. There's a lot to scrub loose, to cleanse out. As we open up that crown and just let it open, sending that Gaia energy up and connecting into Source, Remember, when the throat wants to make a sound, it's to help you release. It's a toning sound. And that sound will evolve too as you work more and more in your self-work. Sometimes I spend hours. I used to chant as a child, so sometimes I just spend hours just and the tone will change. Sometimes it needs to be higher, sometimes lower, and you feel it in the body when you're toning. So allow that sound to come out as you need to. Good. Again, this is working in that chest area. Letting that source connection come down through the body, flushing and releasing. If this was that salty, neutralizing, cleansing water, this is that pure, clean, fresh water flowing down through the crown, cleansing and releasing down through the head, the throat, down the shoulders. Now it's like a mist from a waterfall coming out through the palms and fingertips, that mist of clean, fresh water that you just want to breathe in. Flow it down into the heart. Heart and lungs. Down into the solar plex and the sacral. Down into that root, cleansing, flowing, hydrating. Down through the legs. If you're starting to notice a pain somewhere and you don't want to get distracted from the work, thank the pain, thank that spot, and ask it to show itself when you're ready to do that work. And let it know that you'll remember, you'll listen. And notice how the pain relaxes. The body just wants to be recognized. Flow it down. We've got some giggly energy that we're tapping into. And some release. Good. Now I want you to imagine and call in your bear spirit energy. Imagine there's a bear walking towards you in that relaxed and easy gait without a care in the world as it comes to your side. Feel it come to your side. We're going to call in that avian guide, whichever bird it is that you feel most connected to. For some of us it's an owl, some a hawk, some an eagle, some a crow. Maybe there are many. We're going to call in the avian consciousness and allow it to come to our shoulder, to land comfortably and gracefully. We'll pretend they don't have 10-inch long claws or whatever. Comfortably and gracefully to land on the shoulder and support us in this work. What other animal guides do you have? Call them in now. Call in any earthly energies. If you have a connection with the fairies, with the gnomes, with the ents, call in your forest full of life that's going to support you in this. Because we're going to do some big work. we're going to do earthly work. If you feel the need, call in your angelic support, your guardians, your ancestral guardians, and we're definitely calling in the Divine Mother that loves us unconditionally, that is so proud of all of us, even the parts that we're shameful for. And just let these energies flow for a minute while we gather our strength, feel our confidence, feel our worth, feel this around us. We're going to today move forward from that place of a childhood of victimization, a lifetime of suffering in any way, and we're going to step fully out of that. We're all done with that identity as a collective. It's time to start casting it off. So, as you stand surrounded by your support team, fully embodied in the self, I want you to start replaying the story of your life. But I want you to visualize in front of you a great big screen, like a mirror screen. And I want you to replay the story that you have told of your life on that screen and watch it with your audience, with your support team. I want you to call up with this full support around you, with this observer state present and aware, all of those instances where you were victimized and wounded, diminished, minimized, abused, broken. Allow yourself to play these out. And as you play it out, you're going to start feeling already the body responding, showing you where it stored these memories, pains in those areas. I want you to imagine in that spot of physical pain that a rose is budding there. A small rosebud is forming in the heart of that pain. Somebody's got it in the left hip over the back. Imagine that rosebud is just beginning to form there. Its stem, its stalk goes all the way down into the earth and is rooted deeply, just like you are rooted. And the light of Source is shining on it as that rosebud opens and blossoms in that space of pain and of wounding. While you're using this rose in this way, allow the screen to reflect at you and show you the beliefs that you held as a result of this storage, of this pain, of this experience. Allow it. Don't try to control it or think about it. Don't deem it as good or bad. Just observe and allow as though you're watching a film with that observer perspective. And let it continue to play, addressing the pains as they come with the rose. as you progress in age from birth. Maybe that's the stories of the birth that you're hearing. Perhaps you had a poor womb experience. Many of us did. Our victimhood started there. We're just allowing right now, as we pull all of this up and bring it into focus, pulling it up out of the subconscious, out of that internal dark realm that feels like we're powerless about it, that has controlled us in the background all this time. We're bringing it all into the light, projecting it onto this great big mirror. Using that moon energy, the full moon, to support us in pulling out the energy from the vessel as it's reflecting. The moon has great pull, such strong pull, it pulls the waters of our ocean and the waters of our vessel. It's why we're all impacted by the full moon. It pulls at our waters. Allow that pull to support the release of this debris, of this belief. I want you to call up all the times in your childhood that you felt unworthy, that you felt unaccepted or unvalued. Maybe it's from the children that you played with, maybe the family members, maybe it was just something you felt from your source, from your heart. Maybe that's part of your lesson, this worthiness, this worthlessness, feeling unworthiness. We're going to call those forward and allow those to play out on the screen. All the times that we didn't feel like we were strong enough or smart enough or powerful enough or seen enough or valued enough or understood enough, all of those playing out. We're not afraid to see these parts anymore. They don't define us. Just calling it forward, bringing it up. And this mirror, as we play these things out on it, I don't know if any of you guys saw the old Superman, but there's like that mirror universe. Oh, huge energy coming through. It's like the mirror is collecting all of this information as well. We're going to flip that mirror around and transmute that image, looking at it now from another perspective. One where we are fully empowered as we stand with our guides around us, fully embodied, and review this mirror now with this new perspective of truth, that we've created these lessons. They were hard. We're just going to allow them right now. We're not trying to get rid of them. We're viewing them from the flipped perspective. Flow that energy. Remember, if you're feeling something that's painful or wounding, if you're feeling like you need more support, call in that rose. For some of you, maybe you need a rose to stand within. Make a great big rose, grounded, connected to the light, spinning around you, supporting you, holding you. As you allow the beliefs to transmute within the body, notice how already there's almost like it's hard to kind of remember some of those experiences. It's hard to see them. They didn't make that translation point because they're no longer relevant. Allow that. Don't try to hold on to those. Don't try to bring up anything. If it's flowing, let it flow. If it's stuck on a particular issue, bring that issue up more into focus. Play it out again at a slower rate as you're watching and observing and looking for, what is it that I haven't learned yet from this? What have I not seen yet in this one lesson? Is it that I need to be more attentive to myself Is it that my boundaries were not strong? Was my purpose not defined? Right? What is it that I haven't yet learned from that? I'm just going to hold space for you. Ask your Thoth energy to support you in your understanding, your processing of this information. Ask your bear energy to give you courage to face it. Grounded strength, deeply rooted. If you're watching this in the recording, you can pause at this time, but I'm sensing that those of us who are here right now are ready to move forward. I want you to now see that that great big mirror that's there is actually a door. It's a mirror door. I want you to walk up to that mirror door with confidence. And I want you to open that door. Now, when you open this door, you're opening up a doorway to beyond this pain, stepping out of the childhood state completely. And when you step through the doorway, you're going to be stepping into who you came here to be, your full self. Step into the truth of who you are. Open up that door and step through. If you're ready. If you're not ready to step through the door, gaze through the door and look at who you are. Let that light shine through. Let the Divine Mother hold you as you step through that doorway if you feel you need that support. Maybe Mother Bear is going to lead the way for you. They're all here to support you as you step into this new day. As we step through this doorway, we're transmuting all fear into allowance. And we're letting our faith in who we are flow through us. Oh, my root is tingling. You can stay in this state as long as you like. I'm going to hold it with you guys for a few more minutes before signing off. If any of you are struggling right now, we do have a little bit of time. And if you need a direct support and you want to do it now, feel free to comment. Otherwise, just flow the energy. This new you, this whole you, transmuted from a state of fear and victimhood into total allowance and embodiment of whole self. It's beautiful. I'm hearing a reminder that this doorway is not one that you will only pass through once. there are times that you will find yourself on the other side, again back in the childhood. Recognize it is for a lesson, it is for an opportunity to release some other aspect that's blocking and preventing the next level of you that you're ready to reach into. Call into focus the door, look at the mirror, and then open it and step through again. This is a tool for you to help you transmute from a state of powerlessness into a state of empowerment. Much love to you all. Again, I'm honored to be on this journey with you. And I'll see you tomorrow.